He only wanted to play his guitar. But one wrong night, on the wrong street, stole his freedom. Now, behind bars, Ethan has only one weapon left: his music. When Ethan Carter's fingers danced across the guitar strings, the walls of his small room vibrated with his melody. He was 18 years old, and the world felt like an endless song to him. When he closed his eyes and played, the notes weren't just sounds, they were emotions, colors, dreams. "Ethan, you're making that noise again." His mother's voice rose from downstairs. He didn't know then that this would be the last time he'd play at home. Gently placing his guitar beside his bed, he looked out the window. Night had fallen quietly over the town streets. Every evening at this hour, he would stand under the streetlight and hum melodies. Tonight would be no different. Or so he thought. When he grabbed his jacket and left the house, his old sneakers echoed softly on the sidewalk. In his pocket was a small notebook containing the lyrics to his new song. He had memorized the notes to the piece he called Melody of Loneliness. But the most shocking part was yet to come. When he reached the street corner, he leaned against the wall as usual and began to hum. His eyes closed, his mind lost in music, he was unaware of what was happening around him. He didn't hear the footsteps approaching from behind. He didn't notice the three young men getting closer. "Who are you?" A harsh voice pulled him back to reality. When Ethan turned around, three young men he didn't recognize had surrounded him. The biggest one, about 25 years old, was holding a bottle. I was just... Ethan's voice trembled. "Just what? Are you listening in on our business here?" "No, I'm just interested in music." But the situation was rapidly getting worse. The big man threw the bottle toward Ethan. When Ethan reflexively tried to run, his foot caught on the curb and he fell. Just then, police sirens could be heard from the other end of the street. And that was the moment when the biggest misunderstanding of Ethan's life began. When the police cars arrived, the three young men had fled, and Ethan was lying on the ground covered in blood. Beside him were broken bottle pieces and Ethan's notebook. To the police, the scene was clear: a young man who had gotten into a fight. "Son, get up. What's going on here?" As Ethan tried to stand, blood from his knee stained his sneakers. "Officer, I was just... They attacked me, I was just... Who were they?" "I don't know, I don't recognize them. I was just singing here." The police officer looked at him suspiciously. Then a voice came over the radio: "There are suspects on the run from a nearby drug operation. A search is being conducted in the area." And Ethan still didn't know that this night would change his life forever. Sitting on the cold metal chair at the police station, Ethan's hands were shaking. The same hands that had been with his guitar in his room just hours ago were now feeling the coldness of handcuffs. "Ethan Carter, 18 years old," the police officer said, looking at the file. "Where were you tonight?" "I told you, I was making music. Every evening in the same place." Witnesses are saying different things. Ethan's heart sank. What witnesses? I didn't hurt anyone. But what he saw was an even bigger shock. When the door opened, the person who entered was Ahmet, a neighbor. He had known Ethan for years and had always been supportive. But now the expression on his face was cold. "Yes, I know this boy," said Ahmet. "He's been acting strange lately. Wandering the streets at night, meeting with suspicious types." Ethan's world collapsed. "Ahmet, you know me. I just make music. I have nothing to do with anything else. But he hadn't yet learned the most painful truth. The court process developed quickly. Ethan's lawyer was inexperienced. His family was in financial difficulty. The evidence seemed as simple as it appeared: a young man found in the wrong place at the wrong time. "What is your defense, Ethan Carter?" the judge asked in a cold voice. Ethan stood up, his voice cracking. "Your Honor, I just want to make music. I've never hurt anyone in my life. That night I was just singing." But the prosecutor had other evidence. The drug packages found in the area that evening, while not containing Ethan's fingerprints, created enough suspicion with his presence. 1 year imprisonment. The judge delivered the verdict. Ethan's world went dark. His mother's tears, his father's helpless looks. And at that moment he understood that injustice could sometimes shatter even the most innocent hearts. But a bigger test awaited him. When the prison doors closed behind Ethan, the sound symbolized the closing of his dreams as well. The cold neon lights of the corridors were the complete opposite of the warm evenings he had spent with his guitar. "New guest," the guard said mockingly. "First time out, young man." Ethan just nodded. He had no strength to speak. As he was taken to his cell, he felt the stares of other inmates. Some curious, some threatening. But what he feared most was the silence within himself. Those sounds, those melodies. They seemed to be disappearing one by one. "This is your home." The guard opened the iron door. "Your cellmate is Marcus." Marcus was a man in his 30s, muscular but with tired eyes. He looked at Ethan and nodded. "How old are you, son?" 18. Marcus took a deep breath. "Very young. There are rules for surviving here. First, don't trust anyone. Second, stay quiet. Third, forget your dreams." But Ethan didn't yet know that he would never accept this last rule. In the late hours of the night, lying in his bed, he stared at the ceiling. There were still melodies in his head, but he had no guitar to bring them out. He moved his fingers in the air, playing on invisible strings. "What are you doing?" Marcus whispered. "Playing." "Playing what? There's nothing in your hands." Ethan smiled, for the first time since arriving here. "The music is here," he said, pointing to his chest. "They only took my guitar, not my music." Marcus remained silent for a while. Then he spoke in a soft voice. "I used to play too. Piano. But when I came here, it was like my fingers froze." And at that moment Ethan realized that here he was in danger of losing not just his freedom, but a part of his soul. The next morning, sitting in the cafeteria during breakfast time, the noise around him, the shouting, the clashing of metal plates. But in Ethan's head there were completely different sounds. A melody was forming, a new song born from the chaotic sounds of this place. "How beautiful this melody is," he murmured to himself. Just then, someone sat next to him. A man about 40 years old, with graying hair, but still young eyes. "You understand music, I gather." Ethan looked at him in surprise. "Who are you?" "My name is David. I work here as a music teacher. More precisely, I give music therapy to inmates." Ethan's heart raced. "Really? Would you like to join my program tomorrow? Maybe you'll learn that music can live here too." And that was the moment when Ethan's hope would begin to bloom again. When Ethan first entered David's music room, his breath was taken away. An old guitar in the corner, a few drums, a small keyboard. It was like showing water to someone dying of thirst in the desert. "Welcome, Ethan." David's voice was warm. "There are 5 or 6 more people here, all friends interested in music." Marcus was also in the room, which surprised Ethan. There was also an old man named Roberto, Sam who seemed young but introverted, and Tyler, who was large and had a deep voice. "Marcus, do you come here too?" Marcus showed an embarrassed smile. "Like I said, I used to play. Maybe I'll remember here." David took the guitar and played a chord. When the sound echoed in the room, Ethan's eyes filled with tears. How much he had missed this sound. "Who wants to start?" Ethan's hand involuntarily rose. But just then Tyler stepped forward. "I'll start," Tyler said, but his voice was aggressive. "I've been here the longest." David calmly handed the guitar to Tyler. When Tyler started playing, Ethan noticed that he was actually quite talented, but the songs he played were full of anger, full of pain. "Tyler's music is his way of expressing the anger inside him," David whispered to Ethan. "Everyone's relationship with music is different." When it was Ethan's turn, the moment he took the guitar in his hands, he felt his hands trembling. It was as if his fingers had forgotten how to move under the strings he hadn't touched for 3 months. When he played the first chord, the sound was off. "Relax," David said. "Music doesn't rush." Ethan took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and tried to find the melody inside him. And suddenly, he found it. That melody he had hummed that night on the street, but now it had taken on a completely different meaning. When he started playing, the room fell silent. The music expressed the pain, loneliness, but also the hope inside him. But he didn't yet know that this music would bring him not only hope but also new danger. After the music session, while returning to his cell, Tyler stopped him in the corridor. "Who are you?" Tyler's voice was threatening. "I'm Ethan. You just got here and you're trying to get attention? David really liked your melody." Ethan's heart began to race. "I just want to make music. Everyone has their turn here, rookie. You'll wait your turn." Marcus came from behind them. "Tyler, what's your problem with the kid?" "This isn't your business, Marcus. David wants everyone to play. Tyler, don't bother the kid." Tyler gave Marcus a hard look but walked away. Ethan looked at Marcus gratefully. "Thank you. We look out for each other here, Ethan. But be careful. Tyler's story is painful. Music is everything to him, and he doesn't want to compete with you." That night, while lying down, Ethan was creating new melodies in his head. But at the same time, Tyler's looks wouldn't leave his mind. Music was giving him hope, but maybe it was also bringing new enemies. And he didn't yet know that what he would learn the next day would shake him in a completely different way. The next morning when he went to David's room, there was a surprise waiting for Ethan. A small notebook had been placed next to the old guitar in the corner. "This is yours," David said with a smile. "You can write your thoughts, your melodies." When Ethan took the notebook in his hands, he saw a note in David's handwriting on the first page: "Music can remain free even behind walls. Thank you, this is very important to me. I know, Ethan. Everyone who heard the melody you played yesterday was impressed. But one person was especially curious." "Who?" "Assistant Director Sarah. She runs rehabilitation programs here. She wants to talk to you. A wave of fear rose inside Ethan. Did I do something wrong? Quite the opposite. You did something good. But at that moment the door opened and Tyler entered. The expression on his face was angry. David, can we talk? Privately. David gave Ethan a knowing look. We'll talk in a bit, Ethan. As Ethan left the room, he heard Tyler's voice. This kid is ruining everything, David. I've been working here for 3 years. Then he comes and... When the door closed, Ethan remained in the corridor. The happiness inside him gave way to worry. Tyler's words had affected him deeply. While returning to his cell, he met Marcus. Is Tyler bothering you? I don't know, Marcus. I just want to make music. I don't want to compete with anyone. Marcus stopped and touched Ethan's shoulder. Look, son, let me tell you something. Tyler is a good kid, but he's in pain. Music is his only refuge. Until you came, he was David's favorite student. So what should I do? Talk to him. You both need music. At lunch that day, Ethan gathered his courage and sat next to Tyler. Tyler, can I talk to you? Tyler raised his head, coldness still in his eyes. What do you want? I'm not your enemy. We both make music here, maybe together. Together? Tyler mocked. You just got here yesterday. I've been trying to turn the pain I've suffered here for 3 years into music. What pain? Tyler's face changed, softened for a moment. My sister. She died in a car accident. I was driving. That's why I'm here. Ethan's heart tightened. Tyler, I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Just understand that music is therapy for me. When you came and caught David's attention, I don't play to get his attention. I have to play, otherwise I'll go crazy. Tyler looked at Ethan for a long time. Then he spoke slowly. Tonight in David's room. Can we play together? I want to try something. And at that moment, Ethan understood that music was not just a personal need, but also a bridge that brought people together. But he didn't yet know that what would happen that evening would be a new turning point in his life. In the evening, only Ethan and Tyler were in the music room. David had left them the room, saying, You two try to find something. Tyler took the guitar and started playing a slow, melancholic melody. Ethan first just listened, then began finding notes on the keyboard that completed Tyler's melody. This is beautiful, Ethan said softly. Is it for your sister? Tyler nodded, his eyes filling. Jenny had a favorite song. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. We used to sing it together. Ethan knew that melody. When he started playing those familiar notes on the keyboard, Tyler's voice began singing tremblingly. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. The two young men played for hours that evening. Tyler's pain merged with Ethan's longing, creating a completely different harmony. You know, Tyler said during a break, this is the first time I can play this song with someone. And for me, it's the first time. The first time I see that music can change not just my life, but someone else's too. But just after that happy moment, the door opened dramatically. Assistant Director Sarah entered, with 2 guards behind her. Boys, what are you doing here? Music time is over. Sarah, Tyler stood up. David gave us permission. We were just working. I talked to David. We're thinking of a special program about you. Especially Ethan. We're planning to include your musical talents in the rehabilitation program. Ethan looked in surprise. What do you mean? There's a music project here that has connections with the outside world. If you're successful, it's possible to shorten your sentence. Tyler's face changed. What about me? I've been working here for 3 years. Tyler, you'll be included, of course. But Ethan will be the leader of the project. And at that moment, 2 paths appeared before Ethan. Would he choose the chance of freedom or friendship? Sarah, Ethan's voice was determined. This project can't happen without Tyler. He's much more experienced than me. Tyler looked at Ethan in surprise. You'll work together then, Sarah said. But Ethan will be responsible. After leaving the room, Tyler remained silent for a long time. Why did you do that? He finally asked. Because music becomes more beautiful when shared. You can't play Jenny's song alone. And I don't deserve freedom alone either. Tyler looked at Ethan while wiping his eyes. You're different, Ethan. You don't belong here. Maybe none of us belong here. Maybe we're all just lost notes and together we can create a beautiful melody. But they didn't yet know that this project would bring new challenges along with hope. When the project started, Ethan and Tyler were given a small studio room. Inside were simple recording equipment, a few instruments, and most importantly, a phone to communicate with the outside world. See how lucky you are, the guard said while showing the room. But remember, every conversation is recorded. On the first day, Ethan and Tyler sat quietly. When freedom was so close, paradoxically it felt even more distant. What shall we start with? Tyler asked. I don't know. No one outside knows us. Who will listen to our music? Just then the phone rang. It was the first time they heard it ring. Ethan hesitantly answered. Hello. Hello. Is this Ethan Carter? I'm Lisa Williams from the local radio station. I heard about your music project. Ethan's heart began to race. Yes, I'm Ethan. I heard your story. I'd like to do an interview. I can introduce your music to people. When the phone hung up, Ethan and Tyler looked at each other. Is this real? Tyler whispered. I think so. But what they learned the next day surprised them even more. Lisa Williams really did come. She was a middle-aged, friendly woman. She had a simple recording device with her. Ethan, would you tell me your story? Ethan hesitated at first, then began to tell. That night, the injustice, how music kept him alive here. And Tyler. Lisa turned to Tyler. Tyler told Jenny's story. The pain in his voice, the regret, and how music kept him standing. Would you play something for us? Ethan took the guitar. Tyler sat at the keyboard. They began playing their own version of Jenny's song. But this time, the lyrics were different. Somewhere behind these walls, way up high, there's a melody that makes us fly, where broken dreams can learn to sing, and caged birds remember wing. Lisa couldn't hide her tears. This is incredible. People need to hear this. When the interview was broadcast, it received much more attention than they expected. Dozens of calls came to the radio station. Some supportive, some critical. But the most shocking call came from someone Ethan never expected. When the phone rang, Ethan was now used to this sound. But when he picked up the receiver, The voice he heard froze him. "Ethan? Son, is that you? Dad?" Hearing his father's voice was like opening a door that had been closed for years. Tyler quietly left the room, giving Ethan privacy. "Son, I listened on the radio. Are you really innocent?" Hearing this question from his own father tore Ethan's heart apart. "Dad, I always told you. I was just making music." "But the police, the witnesses." "Dad." Ethan's voice cracked. "Don't you believe your own son?" There was a long silence. "I believe you, son. I always believed. But the system is so powerful that even I began to doubt. Forgive me." Tears flowed down Ethan's cheeks. "Dad, I missed you so much." "Me too, son. Mom too. We pray for you every day." "How's my guitar?" "In your room, exactly as you left it. No one has touched it." When the phone hung up, Ethan remained motionless for a long time. Tyler came back in when he saw Ethan's condition. "Are you okay?" "I don't know, Tyler. My family says they believe me, but I feel they've been doubting for years." "Maybe they were as scared as you," Tyler said. "Sometimes even the people we love can hesitate to believe us. But what matters is that they're telling you they believe now." Ethan nodded, but the pain inside was still fresh. "Tyler, what if I really was guilty? What if everyone was right and I was fooling myself?" "I know you, Ethan. A guilty person couldn't play this music. Couldn't sing Jenny's song with such a pure heart." That night Ethan dreamed of his old room. He was sitting by the window with his guitar, playing. But in his dream, no music came from the guitar, only silence. When he woke up, he was covered in cold sweat. But what they learned the next day would bring both hope and fear. When Lisa Williams called again, there was excitement in her voice. "Ethan, something incredible has happened. Someone who listened to your interview says they have information about that night." Ethan's heart stopped. "What do you mean?" "A woman named Maria Santos. She lives on that street, says she saw you that night." "What does she say she saw?" "She wants to talk to you. She'll come with your lawyer." Tyler understood the situation from Ethan's trembling hand holding the receiver. "This is good, right?" he whispered. "I don't know. What if what they saw makes me look more guilty?" But they would experience their biggest shock the next day. When Maria Santos came, Ethan didn't recognize her at all. She was a small, middle-aged Hispanic woman. With her was Ethan's new lawyer, an experienced law professor that Lisa Williams had found. "Ethan," Maria said, speaking English with an accent, "I saw you that night. You were just singing." Tears came to Ethan's eyes. "Really? You saw me?" Sigh. "I was watching from the window. You were singing very beautifully. Then 3 big men came. They attacked you. Why didn't you speak then?" Maria lowered her head. "Yo no hablo inglés muy bien. When police came, I was scared. I live here without papers." The lawyer leaned forward. "Maria, do you know those 3 men?" Sigh. "I know them. Rodriguez brothers. They sell drugs in neighborhood." Ethan's world was changing again. But this time, in the right direction. "Can you identify them?" "Puedo traitor." "I can try." But just then, something unexpected happened. The door opened and Assistant Director Sarah rushed in. "Ethan, I'm sorry, but there's an emergency. A call came from your family." Ethan's face went pale. "What happened?" "Your mother has been taken to the hospital. She had a heart attack." The world was slipping away from under Ethan's feet. Just when he was beginning to see a ray of hope, a new devastation was coming. "Can I go to her?" "Unfortunately, you're still a prisoner. But your lawyer can apply for special permission." Maria, understanding Ethan's pain from his tears, held his hand. "Mijo, your mother will be okay. God will protect her." Tyler stood by his friend. "Ethan, your mother is a strong woman. If you stay strong here, she'll stay strong too." But Ethan had only one thing on his mind: what if he never saw his mother again? And he didn't yet know that this crisis would create an unexpected turning point in his case. That night Ethan couldn't sleep at all. While staring at the ceiling, he remembered the lullabies his mother used to sing to put him to sleep. When he was little and scared, his mother's voice was his greatest comfort. Tyler was also awake, feeling his friend's pain. "Ethan, do you want to talk about your mother?" "Tyler, she's everything to me. Dad's always at work, I was always with Mom. She taught me guitar, I wrote my first song with her." "What kind of song was it?" Ethan tried to smile. "It was so silly. It started with 'My mother's smile is like the sun.' I was 8 years old." "That's not silly at all. The most beautiful songs come from the depths of the heart." When morning came, David came to the music room. He had heard about Ethan's condition. "Ethan, do you want to do something for your mother?" "What can I do? I'm not even by her side." "You can write her a song. You can sing it to her on the phone." Ethan's eyes lit up. "Can I really do that?" "Of course. Tyler will help." They worked for hours that day. Ethan poured his love, longing, and hope for his mother into words. Tyler created the perfect harmony. The song's title, "Melody of the Heart," "Even though I'm far away, my heart is with you, in every breath I take, your love exists, the strings of my guitar sing your voice, until I return, stay strong." When they got permission to call, Ethan felt his hands trembling. He was connected to his father at the hospital. "Dad, how's Mom?" "She's stable, son. But very weak. She's worried about you a lot." Can she hear a song I wrote for her?" "Wait, I'm taking the phone to your mother." A few seconds later, his mother's weak voice came. "Ethan? Son, is that you?" "Yes, Mom. I wrote you a song." Ethan began singing his song with the guitar. There was so much love in his voice that even other people in the hospital corridor stopped to listen. When the song ended, he heard his mother crying. "Son, this is the most beautiful gift. Hearing your voice. This is healing me. Mom, I'll be home very soon. I promise you." When the phone hung up, Ethan noticed that not only Tyler, but David and even tough guard Jack were crying. "Son," Jack said, "this song. My mother is sick too. I thought of her." And at that moment Ethan understood that music could heal not just his own pain, but everyone's pain. But the news that came the next day would confront them with a completely different reality. After Maria Santos's testimony, the lawyer was much more hopeful. But finding the Rodriguez brothers wouldn't be easy. They've moved away from the neighborhood, Maria said on the phone. But I have a friend, I can find them. While Ethan and Tyler waited in the music room, Ethan's mind was confused. Tyler, what if they're found and they don't tell the truth? What if they put me in an even worse situation? Ethan, the truth always shows itself. You just be patient. Just then, an unexpected visitor came. Old neighbor Ahmet. When Ethan saw him, he was surprised. This man had betrayed him. Ethan, can I talk to you? What do you want? Ahmet lowered his head. I did you wrong, son. That night I was afraid of the Rodriguez family. They had threatened me. Ethan's heart began to race. What do you mean? That night you were there with your guitar, correct? But the Rodriguez brothers came and attacked you. I saw this but was too scared to tell the police the truth. Why are you saying this now? Because I heard your song on the radio. It was so innocent that my conscience couldn't rest. Tyler leaned forward. What else did you see that night? The Rodriguez family attacked another young man after you. That boy was seriously injured. Then when the police came, they ran away. When you were left lying there, it looked like you had started the fight. Ethan couldn't hold back his tears. All this time I tried to prove I was innocent. Son, I'm going to court to tell the truth. Late as it is, I'll do the right thing. But the most surprising part of the story was yet to come. David rushed into the room. Boys, there's incredible news. The Rodriguez brothers have been caught. They've been detained by police for another crime. Ethan jumped up. Really? Your lawyer got permission to meet with them. And Maria Santos will identify them. Tyler touched Ethan's shoulder. See? I told you, the truth always comes out. That night Ethan slept with hope for the first time in his life. But in his dream he saw his old nightmare. His guitar was silent, the strings were broken. But this time, in his dream, Tyler was there, Maria was there, David was there. And they were all fixing the guitar together. When he woke up, Marcus was looking at him. Ethan, today's the big day. Are you ready? I don't know, Marcus. What if something goes wrong again? Nothing will go wrong. You're not alone anymore. And indeed, Ethan wasn't alone anymore. But the final test awaiting him would be harder than expected. When the oldest of the Rodriguez brothers, Carlos, met with the lawyer, he was initially in denial. We didn't attack anyone. But when Maria Santos saw him, she spoke with certainty. This is him. This man attacked Ethan. Carlos's brothers were also there and Maria identified them too. The lawyer showed them evidence, police records of other crimes they committed in the same area that night. Carlos, the lawyer said, if you tell the truth, you can get a sentence reduction. Carlos remained silent for a long time. Then he nodded. Yes, we attacked that kid. But he tried to fight with us. No. Maria stepped forward. He's lying. Ethan was just singing. Ahmet also testified, Carlos, I saw too. The kid did nothing to you. Carlos finally gave up. Okay. The kid is innocent. We attacked him because we were doing business in that area. We didn't want him to be a witness. This confession created a revolution in Ethan's case. When the court day came, Ethan walked those corridors for the last time. But this time Tyler, David, Marcus, and other friends were behind him. "Ethan Carter," the judge spoke in a serious voice, "in light of new evidence, your innocence has been proven. You will be released immediately." Ethan's legs trembled. Tyler held him. "You're free, friend. You're free now." But Ethan had completely different thoughts on his mind. As he walked out the prison gates, he saw his mother and father waiting for him. His mother's health had improved, but she was still weak. "Son." Mother hugged her son. "You're home now." "Mom, I missed you so much." Dad also came and hugged his son. "Forgive me for not believing you, son." "Dad, it's in the past." But Ethan's eyes kept drifting to the prison gates. Tyler, David, Marcus. They were still inside. 6 months later, Ethan was sitting in his old room with his guitar. But he wasn't playing just for himself anymore. Every week he visited his prison, making music with Tyler and the others. Assistant Director Sarah had allowed him to be the project coordinator. "Tyler, I brought a new song today," he said on the phone. "What kind of song?" "It's called Bridges. From the notes I wrote during our days inside. I'm curious about it." That evening, he appeared live on local radio. Lisa Williams introduced him. "Today our guest is Ethan Carter, a young musician who faced injustice but saved both himself and his friends through music." "Hello," Ethan said into the microphone. "Today I'll sing you my song Bridges. This song is about how the walls that separate us can actually become bridges that unite us." He took his guitar and began to play, sunlight passing through the bars, playing the melody of hope, every note a bridge, every word a path, to the freedom in my heart. When the song ended, dozens of calls came to the radio station. People were moved by Ethan's story. But the most important call came from Tyler. "Ethan, the song was wonderful. And I have news for you." "What news?" "My parole decision came out. I'll be outside in 3 months." Ethan's eyes filled with tears. "Tyler, that's wonderful. You taught me your hope, Ethan. Now I'm ready to build my own bridges outside too." That night as Ethan lay in his bed, he thought about the past year. Injustice had broken him, but music had rebuilt him. And now, with this music, he could touch others' lives too. Looking out the window, he saw that old street corner. He wasn't afraid of it anymore. Because he knew that sometimes wrong paths can lead us to the right places. He took his guitar and played that melody one last time. But this wasn't a song of pain anymore. This was a song of beginning. And Ethan Carter, that night, felt truly free for the first time. Not just physically, but spiritually too. Music really was like sunlight passing through bars. And that light was now ready to illuminate everyone. Sometimes the most beautiful melodies are born in the darkest moments. Because hope finds its strongest voice in silence.